up and running. Can I see chat? Okay, y'all. Hold on. Let me hop on my thing and see if we're really in motion. Let me hop in and see what's really going on. We are live. Can I hear myself? Okay. Hold on. Let me hop on my thing. Let me take my camera off. Let me hop in and see what's really. Can you hear myself? Is it better? Let me take my camera off. I think it's still stop recording. Oh, that sounds so much better. Is it better? Oh, that's so much better. What's up, y'all? This is my first time streaming. I feel youthful. I feel so useful. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Whenever you hop in or you're engaging with this video, get comfy, y'all. We're going to be in here for a good little minute. So, today is Thursday, and I have dedicated Thursdays to connecting in any capacity. So last Thursday we did sound healing. Today we're going to be talking about red flags and spiritual workers, because it is super important, and the harm that is being caused by people that are just hopping on willy-nilly is a serious thing. Absolutely. And so I wanted to come on and share some TikToks that I saw. I feel so grown, y'all have no idea. I feel so useful. Some TikToks that I saw, as well as share my own stories with spiritual workers that just went awry. So, again, if you are new here, my name is Drew. What's going on? I have been doing spirit work or spiritual work or holistic work for over 8 years now, and I'm so deeply in love with the work that I'm doing research about it. And over my 8 years, I spent maybe 10 years dealing with spirit, like conscious spiritual work, meaning like I would go to markets to get readings done and what have you, and I've had some of the best experiences as well as some of the worst experiences with just dealing with that. And so let's talk about like the harm that is caused if you're going to someone and, one, you don't have your discernment up, two, you just believe in anything, and then three, if the spiritual practitioner does not align with their own values, their own ethics, while also if they're just out here connected to distorted energies. That's a real thing. So I want to talk about like the very first reading that I had, just to start off, like how wonderful it could be. I was like super depressed, like super depressed, and I was doing markets for my mom at the time who had breast cancer. And so she had just quit her job and she was moving into becoming a entrepreneur. Like her business was popping. She's a jewelry maker. As a matter of fact, she's a silversmith. She made this ring. And so she was sick and she couldn't do markets, so I went. And at the time, she was booking a whole lot of holistic markets, one of which was at the Black Swan, which I think I talked about on some platform. And then the other, oh, I talked about it last Thursday. And the other was it's called the Mystic Market. I had sat next to this lady who just could sense that I was so low vibrationally, energetically, mentally, all the things, that she just like literally wrapped me up. Like she held my hand and I felt the energy she was giving to me. And that was a beautiful moment. And I still honor and respect that lady to this day. Now, that same lady, I had to block. I had to block, and I know I seem like an asshole, but there just wasn't any boundaries. And she was like, you're gonna be a part of my council, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. And I was like, I feel like I'm being taken advantage of. Like, I'm this newbie to this world and you are putting forth these ideologies and these ideas into me, and that really further perpetuates the issue that can arise here in this field. There was this lady who was well known. She passed away, but she was well known. She told me that my sister was going to try to tempt my husband. She told me that my husband was going to try to kill me if I ever left. She told me that, she even told me, she's like, your star is rising. You're going to be a well-known artist. I mean, she wasn't wrong. Like, I went to an art gallery, but I wasn't well-known. And I mean, I'm still 32, so there's still a whole lot of life left. Maybe, she could be right. But I've had many different types of readers, from one like discrediting, like, you don't have to do any more work, but I'm like, babe, trauma exists, and I actually do, because I was being a terror to myself and others. And she was like, life is about having fun, in a degree, absolutely, but also we can't spiritually bypass. So there were so many things happening, like when the message is being perverted by the individual. And so I wanted to pull up some clips, and let's explore other people's experiences. Now, give me grace, because this is the very first time, again, I am streaming, and so I want to test out thoughts. There was one. Let's look at this one.
I think he's cheating, but he might be. We have lived so many lifetimes together. We have a soul contract. Like he said, he has a really good friend. And before we get into, I don't think he's cheating, but he might be. We have lived so many lifetimes together. We have a soul contract. Like he said, he has a really good friend at work that's a girl. They go on trips and things together. And I think that's fine. I think that's healthy. And listen, like, he is the sweetest guy. He won't even let me pick out what I want to wear. Like, he picks out everything for me, because he's like, I need to know that you are my lady and that you're presenting yourself like a special way in public. So we got into this fight a few weeks ago, and he was like, you are pretty useless. He still recognizes my beauty because he called me pretty. I pay all the bills. Like, I make the money and I pay all of the bills. I mean, I believe he has a job. He says he does, and that's where his work wife is. She buys him things I would never buy him. If you had to look at the card, do you think he's cheating or anything? Sugar, yeah, he's definitely cheating. Who do you think he's doing while you're at work? Listen, after the last work trip though, he came back and he said,
okay, so that was just a test video. It has absolutely nothing to do with what we were talking about, but I just wanted to test out and see if I could hear the audio and everything like that. So let's start going.
These are red flags that you need to be paying attention to. Red flags that you...
Y'all, I'm literally clicking stuff.
These are red flags you need to look out for in tarot readers. If you hear a reader say that they've removed certain cards from the deck because those cards trigger them, that person should not be reading those tarot cards. If your reader tells you that the lovers mean soulmates or twin flames, that person does not understand the complexities of tarot. The lovers does not indicate twin flames or soulmates. One of the only times one could interpret the lovers associated with romance, if it's in combination to the Two of Cups and potentially the Ten of Cups. But the lovers on its own is not about romance. If a reader is instilling fear or using scare tactics when referencing the Devil, Death, or Tower card, that is not an ethical reader. Ditto with the type of reader who tries to tell you that the Three of Swords, Five of Pentacles, Devil, Death, Tower, Seven of Swords are great cards. When a tarot reader does not understand the astrological association with all of the cards, in my opinion, that tarot reader should not be charging for readings. When a tarot reader needs to pull out a bunch of clarifiers, they don't understand how to interpret the message. Let me know if you want a part 2.
She has a lot of good points, because I'm coming from the perspective as an energy worker and a client. Taking things out of your deck, that one I've never really heard about. I think that's up to the reader personally. But if it's saying like it's traumatizing or it's triggering, then absolutely, that should be a red flag in itself. Like, you need to be a clear conduit for source energy. So you don't want to go and get your message through that channel anyway. Just as I began talking about at the beginning of the live, where the message gets perverted through the channel, through the vessel. And so that's why when you move into doing spiritual work, if that's something you're interested in, you want to make sure that your spiritual hygiene is up to par. Now, as far as the interpretation of cards, I'm kind of in the gray about that, because I do use tarot cards, but 9 times out of 10, I'm reading it intuitively. And so it doesn't even matter, like, it does matter to an extent, but because it's telling you a story. But what I've learned with Spirit is, if you're reading intuitively, Spirit is going to use whatever knowledge that you have to deliver a message. So for example, I was doing a message for someone recently, and the message started coming in through neurobiology, through psychology. And before, like 5 years before, I wouldn't have had that understanding, that message come in that way. But that's because I can understand it, and it's just a way that the message can come through. And so I'm not as big as a stickler for completely reading the cards exact, but if you're going to read the card, then you need to be informed. If you haven't reached this level of intuitive, not discerning, but the word is eluding me, divination. If you're going to be reading it through a specific divination, then you need to make sure that you are on your P's and Q's with the understanding of the cards you're using. But if you're going to use your intuition, say that, and then do what you need to do. But you need to make sure, again, that message isn't being perverted through your lens. And then she started talking about, I don't know, let's see if I can skip through.
Or card, that is not an ethical reader.
Yeah, an ethical reader, you're not. Okay, so going back to what I was talking about, like checking your source. So if you are a clean conduit, if you are really working for source energy, you are definitely perpetuating and continuing high vibrational, not even high vibrational, but something that is going to instill. I'm hearing feedback. That's like I'm getting sidetracked. Something that's going to distill self-empowerment. So if a reader is going to deviate the empowerment from the person that's receiving it to them or to something else, saying like, oh, you're cursed, I come back and I'll remove that from you, or you need to come back to me so you can heal and stuff like that, that is a huge red flag. Readers should not be doing anything other than providing clarity to inklings you already have had, or helping you activate and reconnect with your own healer. We don't need diviners, we don't need intuitives, we don't need anyone really outside of our own self. They're helpful, they're very helpful, but we all have this ability to intuit ourselves, heal ourselves, and everything like that. So that's a good video.
Ditto with the type of rules you should be charging for.
Red flags that you need to be paying attention to when it comes to tarot readers on social media. Red flag number 1, jumping straight into the tarot reading without giving you the possibility to decide whether or not you want to have a tarot reading right now at this moment when the video pops on your screen. Consent is important in any given situation. I know hooks are important on social media, but tarot readers need to find other hooks, because you need to give the time for somebody to decide whether or not they're ready to get a tarot reading. Not everybody wants one, and you should not force it on anybody. Red flag number 2, sin.
So I want to pause there. So I think this will be helpful for me to just pause as it's going. She has a very interesting point, but at the same regard, like, for example, if I'm on live and I'm pulling cards, I'm gonna list that.
These are red flags you need to look out for.
I'm gonna list that I'm doing a reading, and at that point in time, it's up to you whether you want to stay or not. But she makes a really good point.
Can't all be about that. That's a really big red flag. Red flag number 4, the reading will be accurate only if you like, share, comment. You want to be careful about somebody who would be putting too much effort into the staging of the whole thing. Red flag number 3, love, soulmates, twin flames. If all the readings on that creator's page are always about love, then that's a really big red flag. Somebody's going to reach out to you. That special person is thinking about you constantly, and they're just about to declare their love to you. Seriously? Of course, you might occasionally have a love reading, but they can't all be about that. That's a really big red flag.
It's a huge flag. Oh, so many daggone readers on YouTube talking about, I'll go in. I love listening to pick a card readings. At this current time, I'm kind of agitated with it, but I love going on and listening to pick a card readings, and 9 times out of 10, I'm coming in for a career. They're like, this love person's coming in. I'm like, bro, I don't know who you're talking about. I am married. Like, what are you even saying to me? I mean, it's relevant for someone, but not for everyone. And so that's when that discernment comes in.
Attention to when it comes to tarot, but you don't have to do anything for a tarot reading to be what it is. It works. If you comment, claim, it doesn't change anything. The can't all be about that. That's a really big red flag. Red flag number 4, the reading will be accurate only if you like, share, comment. No, that's not how it works. If you comment, claim, it doesn't change anything. The reading is what it is. You can accept it. They're giving it for free. You can accept it or not, but you don't have to do anything for a tarot reading to be what it is, a tarot reading. Red flag number 5, lack of context. A tarot reading can be generic, but if it's too generic, then it's a red flag. And red flag number 6, over-reliance on popularity and follow.
Okay, I'm gonna probably stop her video there. She had a really good point talking about claiming. You don't need to claim anything. I went onto someone's YouTube. It's like an occult following. It's like prosperity. Like, I have these bracelets. Buy these bracelets. I have these things. You're gonna claim it. We're millionaires in here. And I'm like, yeah, I can get the vibe. I do feel like a millionaire. I do feel abundant. But I'm not buying a bracelet. And after a while, it felt, not even after a while, within like 30 seconds, I was just like, this is an occult. Like, my spirit was like, back it up. Reverse. Back it up. Gotta go. So definitely pay attention. Again, that discernment comes into play, like knowing when they're blowing smoke up your butt versus when the message is actually, like, again, a clear divine message. Popularity and followers, I don't really care about none of that. And then she has said something, but I can't remember. So let's move on.
You ever see those videos that are like, here are the red flags to look out for in a tarot card reader? I'm a 4th generation tarot card reader outside Salem, Massachusetts, and here's my take on that. Those videos are usually coming from other tarot card readers, and they're trying to preach to you about what you should look for in other readers, so that way you only feel like you should go to them. If they don't read reversals, red flag. If they charge more than $50, red flag. If they shuffle weird, if they don't shuffle well enough, red flag. Like, what? The only flag that matters is, did your reading resonate or not? That's it. That's the test. It's not even about how spiritual somebody looks or how poetic their words are. It's about whether they gave you a message that shook.
Red flags.
Why does it keep doing that?
You ever see those videos that are like, here are the red flags to look out for in a tarot? We don't need to be judging other readers. The cards are a channel, and the beauty is,
we don't need to be judging other readers is a beautiful statement, but we do need to be holding people accountable, because the harm of being a spiritual conduit that you can cause mentally is serious. So what she's saying, I'm vibing with, but at the same time, you can still hold people accountable.
every reader has a different frequency. If that reading doesn't vibe with you or the way that you do it, cool, then move on. But don't pretend it's a red flag just because it doesn't match your frequency or your style. I'm just saying some of the best tarot card readers that I observed break every rule, and their messages still hit every time. I didn't start reading tarot until a little over a year ago, and at this point I have done a little over 400 paid professional readings here on TikTok. I had a major tower moment in my life where everything shifted and I was called to learn tarot. It was only when I was a couple months into it that I went and visited my grandparents and told them what I was up to, that they let me know that I was actually the 4th generation in my family to start doing tarot cards. All of my grandmothers had done it on my father's side, and my uncle actually gifted me my great-grandmother's 135-year-old tarot deck that day. That's a very magical little story, but you don't need to have some kind of magical lineage in order for yourself to become a tarot card reader too. All I did is I grabbed myself this guidebook and a deck with keywords on it, and within a few months, I felt like I was pretty proficient and knew what I was doing when it came to tarot. So don't let a bunch of other creators on here tell you that there's a bunch of red flags you need to look out for and that you're going to get scammed by a tarot card reader. Discernment is your friend, babe. You can tell if a tarot card reader is full of it or not before you even book with them. Red flag this, red flag that.
So that depends. So if you've never had any type of work before, then you don't have anything to base off of. So I mean, you kind of get that gist if you continue or if your discernment is really intact. But I mean, I was up in there not having a lot of experience when I first started, and I would allow a tarot reader to, like, their words, I would hold it so dear. It was like gospel. And that maybe just be me or like my encounter. That's not everybody's encounter, but what I'm saying is the potential for causing harm is high, especially if someone doesn't have a lot of background experience with dealing with energy workers or tarot workers.
Before we get into red flag number 2, I want to just...
That's 3 minutes. I'm just
2 red flags that tarot reader that messaged you is a scam. Number 1, we do not reach out to you. You guys come to us for help. There's no reason for us to reach out to you.
Well, pause, because I have reached out a few times, and I'm not a scam.
You ever see those videos?
Girl, I'm not a
I don't think
scam.
he's
But
cheating,
the people I reach
but
out to, they're
2 red flags.
they're typically longtime clients that I've been doing readings for, and it's just to let them know that I'm holding space because I just came off of maternity leave. I just had a baby. I go to school. I do a bunch of stuff. So my calendar is not open all the time. So I'll post on social media like I'm doing a holding space for readings, and sometimes my stuff is not seen, so I'll just send it to my community and like, hey, just letting you know I'm doing a reading. But I don't approach people like, I have a message for you, unless I actually have a message, which has happened. But then at that point, I'm not saying book some time with me. I just deliver the message. So yeah.
To you, we have thousands of messages of people asking for reading, so we don't have time to even reach out to you. So the fact that they reach out to you is, number one, a huge red flag. Number two, if they say anything about ancestors have a message for you, someone put a spell on you, they were drawn to you, that is a complete scam. Please do not send any money to these people, okay? Half the time they don't know anything about any of this stuff, and they're just using you to get your money. You're not going to get an accurate reading. They're going to tell you something that they tell everybody. You have relationship problems, that type of thing. I, for one, will never reach out to you. So if it says Ascension Bay, it is not me.
I mean, what she said is cool. It's cool.
How to spot a fake
I'm not doing 2
You
minutes.
are getting a reading and they pull the 3 of Swords after you just ask if your partner is cheating on you, and the reader says no. That reader is a scam. A scam. A good indication that the TikTok reader or
That is not necessarily true. I can kind of see what she's saying, but it depends on the context, the energy, again, the intuitive message, and clarifying cards that come out. So just because the 3 of Swords pop out doesn't necessarily mean that's what it is. That the 3 of Swords could be literally your fears of being betrayed, your fears of being hurt. It could talk about a lot of stuff. It doesn't necessarily mean outright that's what's happening.
the tarot reader on any social media platform number is they are reaching out to you first, saying that they have some sort of message for you. Usually that's a scammer, period, point.
How
If you
Girl,
these are the tarot cards.
listen, pause.
These
I'm gonna get better at toggling. I promise. Grace, give it grace.
are the tarot cards you do not want in your reading when you are doing a relationship spread. Take it from me.
No, I don't know who
Hey
you are.
guys, it's the Modern Moon Mystic, and I'm coming to you today to give you thread flags that you should look for when choosing a tarot reader, okay?
What are they,
Flag
girl?
number 1. If the tarot reader that you're looking to book a reading through has really high prices compared to most other readers, that could definitely be a red flag for you.
So pause. That's not necessarily true. If you got the goods to justify the price, then it is what it is. Right now, to book time with me, my hourly is $350. My half hour is $150. But what I'm giving you, I'm trying to teach you how to take care of yourself to move on. I do specials, like when I open up my calendar, where I'll have a range from anywhere between 33 to 122. Your price is your price, and that's just what it is, as long as you have the goods to justify it. So I don't think that's a red flag, babe. Just get your prices up.
The person could be just in it for the money and looking to make some quick cash.
Also,
Hey,
okay,
guys.
hold on. I got a whole lot to say. The person, I mean, she's right in a sense, like the person could be looking for a quick cash, but also the fact that, like, it's an exchange. You are opening yourself to be a conduit, to divine, to glean information on your behalf. That's an energy exchange. Goods are being exchanged. So you could look at it as you could get a purse from Marshalls or TJ Maxx or Ross for $30, or you can go to Michael Kors and get a $300 purse, or you can go to Louis Vuitton and get a couple $1,000 purse. It's just depending on your budget, right? But a good exchange is happening either way you flip it.
That could definitely be a red flag for you. The person could be just in it for the money and looking to make some quick cash doing tarot readings. So proceed with caution. do your work, make sure that they are a certified tarot reader, as well as if they've been trained by a medium or by somebody who does tarot readings. So that way you're making sure that this person is ethical and they know the ethics in regards to tarot reading.
Yeah.
Number 2, tarot readers who do pregnancy readings, fertility readings, even answer medical questions or legal issues definitely need to be proceeded with caution, okay? This could definitely be a red flag, as most tarot readers stay in our lane, which means that we deal with spiritual issues. We also reflect on career issues, financial issues, things that are affecting our sitter's life emotionally. We tend to stay in our own lane and we leave the medical issues for the medical professionals, okay?
That is a good word of caution. But when you have a gift, you have a gift. I have aligned with some amazing medical intuitives where they can see where you're holding things on your body. I had one person, she was really good at medical intuition, but not good at relationship readings. She helped a friend of mine take care of a family member who had an issue with their spine. So she was able to provide information to get seen. I had a reading where they confirmed that I had weakness in my hand at the time. So if you have a gift, then you have a gift. For example, I don't really work on spiritual issues in a sense. My gift is through emotional body. Like I'm able to get into your energetic field and feel what you're feeling and give you advice on how to move beyond or just advice in general. I can read on earthly matters and stuff like that, but typically I help the more internal landscape. There's some people who are really good at the gift of foresight and fortune telling or divining and seeing things in advance. Everyone has unique skill set. And if you're good at that skill set, ain't nothing you can do about it. But yeah, proceed with caution. If this is someone like I wear many hats, again, you should be proceeding with caution anyway. Anyway.
So tread with caution. Number 3, if you're talking to a reader that does any type of spell work, run away immediately. Huge red flag. Tarot is all about divination, so there's no spell work involved when reading tarot. Nobody is putting spells on anybody else. That's not what we do in tarot. We're here to read a person's energy.
That is her personal opinion.
And we're to see what their outcome is. And finally, number 4.
Nah, that's her personal opinion. If you align with someone, like let's say you are aligning with someone who does root working, okay, they can add that on as a package, but it doesn't necessarily mean that tarot readers are a monolith or one singular thing. They can be multiple things.
Any reader who's been approached before about a reading and is not willing to admit that they've been wrong about a reading that they've given to someone needs to be avoided at all costs. This is a huge red flag.
It is.
This means that this reader is an ego-driven person, okay? Spirit, your spirit guides, and even your angels who are watching you and protecting you are not going to be willing to open up that energy to somebody who is egotistical and is driven by their ego. I hope that all this information was very...
I ain't gonna hold you. I kind of zoomed out. My ADHD be on one.
And is driven by somebody.
Okay,
who
yeah.
is egotistical.
Yes.
And is driven.
Yes, the inability to hold yourself accountable. That is a huge one because we're not 100% right all the time. That's just not realistic. You can be really close, but it's not realistic. I mean, when I first started, I was reading on Twin Flames. Had zero business reading on Twin Flames. Zero. Yeah.
Tarot reader red flag number 1. I'm going to talk about when you're in the middle of getting a reading and they tell you that you have an energy blockage. And unfortunately, it's going to take a lot of time and energy for them to get rid of it for you. So you're going to need to book another session and pay like more money.
Nope.
Or sometimes it'll be outrageous amounts of money, or they'll tell you have to like get them a certain supply in order for them to perform the energy blockage, like removal work. So here's the thing. Energy blockages are a thing. They're absolutely a thing because energy is eternal and it lives everywhere and it can cling to you in different ways. However, one, it's not that complicated to get rid of. Two, there are many tools you can use at home to do it yourself. You do not need to pay somebody a bunch of money to remove energy blockages.
I'm gonna pause there. What she's saying is correct. You do not need to pay someone a bunch of money to remove any energy block. But at the same time, I think at that point you're paying for assistance and knowledge. So if you don't have this information readily available, if you don't have training, if you don't have experience in that, then you won't know how to remove it. So someone can help you, but you want to make sure they're not charging astronomical prices. And someone saying it's going to take a lot of work to remove it, that's not necessarily true either. You can get a Reiki session and then they can tell you, okay, then now you're going to take a shower. You're going to move your body. You're going to do this. And then you do the work on the end. There's no way where you're going to go in and have someone do all the work. That's not how this works. They can help you in that moment, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to know how to do the maintenance so that block doesn't come back. And so if you have someone coming in and saying like, oh, straight up, I can help get rid of it, but it's going to cost you a penny, don't do it.
I've been reading tarot for 5+ years. I'm going to start this TikTok. It's just going to be educational stuff for you at home to be able to do different things, such as cleansing negative energy. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and follow and let me know, comment below, or anything else that you might want.
Okay, girl, thank you.
Are you curious about tarot but are worried about getting caught in a web of lies and deception?
He's pretty.
Don't worry, my name's Gord. I'm a no-nonsense tarot reader here to give you 5 tarot reader red flags to look out for. Number 1 is generic readings. Be wary of any tarot reader that you come across that is giving the same damn reading for every single client. You don't want a cookie cutter generic response to your question. The card should give you your own unique answer to whatever it is that you're looking to explore. Number 2, pushy readers. If the tarot reader is messaging you 4 times a day telling you need to book a tarot reading,
that's harassment.
They're probably not the one for you. Any tarot reader worth their salt won't be messaging people to solicit readings. You come to them when you're looking for the guidance, not the other way around. Number 3 is constant upselling. If the tarot reader is telling you, don't just book this reading, buy my reading and get this spell package and etc., etc., I'd be wary and steer clear.
So I'm gonna pause there. I don't do this. I don't necessarily see something wrong with this because, again, I think the issue becomes, are you still a clear channel for divine message? And what is your business and practice rooted in? Because if we're wanting to do this as a business to have it sustainable in this economy and this environment, we might need to do upsells on packaging. That's just the reality of the situation. So I don't know if I would constitute that as a red flag or is it more something to be leery of.
Again, your spirituality and your journey is up to you. So be wary of anybody that's trying to pressure you into getting something that you don't think you need. Number 4, any kind of future guarantees or any claim of 100% accuracy.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, tarot is a tool to help us explore the present moment. Your future is not set in stone. It is up to you and the decisions that you make. And any tarot reader that claims to promise you riches and glory in the future, but nothing for your here and now, is somebody to be avoided. And number 5.
Yeah, no one can really definitively read the future. There's too many variables at play. Free will exists. So that's don't even follow that.
Crossing ethical boundaries. Any tarot reader that doesn't have a clear ethical policy on their website or that they can share with you is somebody to watch out for. Anybody that's claiming to have knowledge about medical issues over and above any doctors, or legal issues over and above any lawyers, or financial matters over and above a financial advisor is somebody to be wary of. Tarot is a tool for helping you with guidance, but it's not a replacement for going to the doctors, seeking a lawyer, or getting accurate and insightful financial advice. Remember, folks, above.
So yeah, what he said is pretty good, and at this point, it's just reiterating a lot of what we've been talking about. I'm gonna go ahead and wind us down. Yeah, you just have to have your discernment, really. Vet the people you're asking for. Here's a big one. Vet the people. Feel free. You can interview your readers. And if they're feeling combative or like you should be glad to be here, that's a good sign that you probably don't want to work with them, or that they're really rooted in ego. It is your right to know what source they use. Because you want to make sure that these people are in alignment with you. I've aligned, or not have aligned, but I've heard readers come in that work with darker or heavier or lower vibrational entities. And they're trying to do readings on people who don't necessarily align that, and they don't actively disclose that. So feel free to vet them, ask them questions respectfully. You know, you're still engaging with someone. And remember that an energy exchange is happening. Going back to what he was saying about, being above and beyond these like medical practitioners, lawyers, absolutely. Even though that could be your gift, if you know that they're operating ethically when they're advising you to still seek professional advice, 100%. And then, I mean, I had a reader who was just so full of herself. She was like, "Your baby's gonna have colic." My baby did not have colic. He had eczema, babe, not colic. So yeah, I hope that this was good for those who popped in or who are watching it now. Let me know some of your thoughts. Like, what is an experience that you had with an energy worker? It doesn't necessarily have to be tarot reading, where it just stuck with you. You're just like, I don't know about that. Wishing you all a wonderful Thursday. I'll be back next Thursday, okay? But if you want to hang out with me before then, hop over to my school community, the Amber Lounge, where you can literally just start a conversation and I'm going to talk back to you. I'm usually on there daily, and we're chit-chatting and hee-hawing. And then go over to my Instagram. See, now, this isn't a red flag. This is me letting you know all the things I have going on. I have free classes on there. I have some paid things on there, whatever suits your budget or your fancy. But hop over and hang out with your girl. I would love to talk to you. So have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.